Good afternoon and welcome to News at Noon, a weekly Facebook report of news affecting Ohio. I'm your Central Ohio correspondent, Zenobia Chris. As of Wednesday, March 23rd, there are 704 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Ohio. In his daily press conference, Governor Mike DeWine announced that 182 people have been hospitalized, 75 of which are in intensive care. He also announced that 116 health care workers are now infected with the virus. And as the number of confirmed cases grows, so is the list of symptoms. Doctors are warning that loss of taste or smell may be a symptom of COVID-19. Ear, nose, and throat doctors are warning that some patients who tested positive for the virus experienced only one symptom, a loss or muted sense of smell or taste. As the virus develops, Ohio lawmakers are taking big strides to protect their people. In a unanimous decision, the Senate passed a bill that would provide emergency relief for Ohioans. The bill will support Ohioans as they are potentially barred from work and interrupted in their studies. Some of the services the bill makes possible are water services will not be cut off. It removes barriers to unemployment compensation, waives standardized testing, K through 12, and ensures seniors will graduate. As individuals struggle with the consequences of the coronaviruses, so do small businesses. Some businesses could be facing closures and some people could be without a job due to the coronavirus pandemic. But help is on the way. Earlier this week, the Franklin County Commission approved $1 million in spending to aid the issue. $500,000 will be spent towards keeping small businesses afloat. The remaining $500,000 will be divided into incentive payments for out-of-work residents who complete training or additional certifications for their jobs. Unemployment rates continue to climb. News at Noon reporter Andrea Robinson talked to one Columbus native who is even struggling to file for benefits at this time.
As the COVID-19 outbreak continues to take over America, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine ordered for the closure of many businesses last week. Those including hairdressers, barbershops, nail salons, and tattoo parlors. Those people providing these services are now out of work, finding themselves in the reality of filing for unemployment.
I'm glad that we're not at work anymore because if we were, we would somewhat be contributing to what's going on right now. So I'm glad, at least in that sense, if we need to do this right now, then let's just do it and get it over with.
Emily Branham is a hairstylist at Perfect Image Salon. At 21 years old, she never thought she'd be trying to file for unemployment.
Now, it's been a little bit difficult because everybody's on the website all at once, but it does say on the website that it's like high volume. You can't even call, you can't do anything, so I'm a little bit anxious at this time.
She hopes to know within the next few weeks whether or not she will even qualify for unemployment benefits to keep her afloat at this time.
So honestly, until I figure out my unemployment, it's hard to say what I'm going to need to be doing within the next few months.
Like many others, Emily Branham is uncertain when she will walk into work again. Reporting for News at Noon in Columbus, Ohio, I'm Andrea Robinson.
The Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services says they are aware of the slow processing time due to high activity on the site. They say that they will process the applications as soon as possible. Ohio's stay-at-home order is now in effect. The order issued earlier this week requires people to stay at their homes unless they work for a company that provides an essential role in our country's infrastructure. Among these businesses are charitable organizations, stores that sell groceries and medicine, media, postal services, and supply stores. A comprehensive list can be found on ohio.gov or on the governor's Twitter page, as well as a list of industries considered essential during this time of isolation. The order is tentatively issued through April 6th, but that date could be extended. March is typically the time of year when restaurants, bars, and basketball fans excitedly engage in one of their favorite times of the year, March Madness. But as News at Noon reporter Tatum Otis tells us, this year, it's a little different. Instead of large crowds, tables and chairs are empty.
Keystone Pub and Patio has closed their Lewis Center location for business last Monday as part of the state's mandatory closure of restaurants and bars.
Not only have businesses like Keystone been forced to close because of the COVID-19 outbreak, they are also closing during a time when they would normally be packed with basketball fans for the annual NCAA tournament. March Madness is one of the busiest times of the year for sports bars and restaurants, and for a local business like Keystone, the yearly tradition is responsible for a lot of their profits. Christine DePriest, owner of Keystone, says her business is taking a major hit from the March Madness cancellation.
It looks like it's about $250,000 that is lost revenue from that not happening.
DePriest says that she's not only losing revenue from March Madness cancellation, but also the cancellation of the Arnold Classic, the Big Ten Tournament, and St. Patrick's Day. Sales are down 99% for the small business, and even though the player's location is open for carryout, the business is barely seeing one order a day.
I'm hopeful that it's over within the next couple weeks and we can just get back to business and open up the patios and enjoy everything, but, it's up in the air right now.
Many small businesses are trying to stay afloat during this epidemic by continuing to offer takeout orders through delivery companies such as Grubhub. But for restaurants and bars across Columbus, this year, March Madness has turned into March Sadness. Reporting for News at Noon from Lewis Center, Ohio, I'm Tatum Otis.
Keystone's Polaris location will continue to sell carryout orders throughout this shutdown. Empty businesses and people in need of food are only one effect of the COVID-19 virus in Ohio. Earlier this week, members of the Ohio National Guard and the Ohio Military Reserve were stationed at local food banks to hand out meals to people in need. Some of the soldiers boxed up meals to help the elderly in the area as well. One of the major concerns in Athens County is with schools closing is all the students who are receiving free breakfast and lunch. Athens City School District has found a way to supply meals to K-12 students in need. News at Noon's Aditya Sahasrabuddhe talked to school superintendent to find out how it's feeding its hungry students.
School buses running back and forth on deserted streets is something we don't usually see. But these buses are not carrying kids. Instead, they are loaded with food. With food and other supplies already running short on top of the high level of food insecurity in the area, Athens City School District is home delivering meals to students in need. Superintendent Tom Gibbs explains.
So we're putting up breakfast and a lunch in just one package and taking that to home.
As social distancing and self-quarantine continues, Athens school employees are taking precautionary measures to curb the spread of coronavirus.
Our folks who are packaging meals are using gloves, are working at least 6 feet distant from one another.
No physical contact is made while delivering meals. The school district workers leave the meals on the porch or another location to limit face-to-face interaction. The district also plans to distribute Chromebooks and mobile hotspots to students in need by April 1st. Reporting for News at Noon from Athens, I am Aditya Sahasrabuddhe.
The Athens School District also operates a food pantry and asks for donations. The coronavirus has affected people, businesses, and now Wall Street. On Monday, the New York Stock Exchange closed its trading floor indefinitely. This marks the first time in history that the trading floor has been closed on the same day the market has been open in its nearly 120-year history on the floor. With the world hunkering down because of COVID-19, many non-essential businesses are facing repercussions, including the housing market. News at Noon reporter Alex Porter knows about this firsthand.
Changing where you live is something that someone faces at some point in their life. Amid the COVID-19 outbreak around the world, people are finding out that buying and selling homes is coming harder than usual. The average person changes their living situation about 12 times in their entire life, according to Steinway Moving and Storage. But that number may decrease as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. A Columbus realtor says the market for home sales has taken a hit, like most other businesses.
And it appears that we're down about 10% across the board. That's maybe 10% lower listings, 10% fewer houses going into contract, and 10% fewer closings.
And with the downturn, the future of the housing market is unpredictable.
It's too early to tell. We're really not going to know until we get further along through this process.
Now, despite that uncertainty, realtors in the Buckeye State are hoping for a quick turnaround once this disease is under control. Reporting for News at Noon from Uniontown, Ohio, I'm Alex Porter.
The Ohio State Park System has also made accommodations due to the coronavirus. Earlier this week, the Ohio State Park System announced several closures at state parks, including cabins, campgrounds, playgrounds, golf courses, marinas, and most restroom facilities. The outdoor spaces, trails, and docks will remain open, but visitors are asked to comply with social distancing recommendations from the CDC. That's it for our program this week. Remember to stay inside and stay safe if you can. We'll be back next week with more stories affecting our communities.